Oh, hello there. It's you once more. I'm afraid you've come to my tower at an inopportune time. It is quite empty now. There's a bit of an echo in here. I don't know if you can hear that with your delicate ears. But yes, everything is gone. I would say that I'd used a spell to spirit it all away, all the shit that was in here, my books and whatnot. But it was not a spell, but my dear sister Adele and her fiancé, Brian, who, through a Herculean effort, carried everything out of this place and into a van and on to the next place. But I'm a wizard. I cannot travel by motor carriage. I must use a different means. A spell, of course, my lads. But it is so powerful that I may actually die in so doing. But it's worth the risk. Anyway, here we go. Hopefully I'll see you on the other side. I will need the bells to begin, though, of course. Yes, there they are. The bells are playing right on cue. Here we go, my lads. Here we go. Oh, fuck. Oh, powerful magic. Dark magic. Yeah. Oh, hello, you're here. You're already here, my loves. You beat me to it. That was a terribly, terribly powerful spell. I very nearly materialized somewhere quite unmentionable. But here I am, in this new abode, a place that I'm calling the Wizard's Tip. Yes, it's all here, my loves. We're all ready to get going once more. So today, I thought we would begin with a tour of the room, a very detailed tour that I did earlier in another dimension. So we'll do that, and then upon my return, I will be showing a few books that I've got as housewarming gifts, if you will. Yes, I know of late this channel's just been about me, but let's not forget about the books, my lads. They are returning quite readily. And then I will be talking exhaustively about the move itself and the past 2 or 3 weeks that I've been absent from you, my loves. But anyway, without further ado, let's get this tour on the go. Yes, yes. Hello there, my loves. Now let us begin the tour at the portal to my wizarding chamber. Above the door you may be able to see a collection of demonic corks, all potent forms of power to ward off evil spirits. And down here you might be able to make out a facsimile of yours truly, in the shape of a penis. I mean a mushroom, my loves. Look, it's got a lovely bit of beard there that was harvested from my nether regions. And this here is an Oma Mori from Japan. A good luck charm or talisman, if you will. If I use my special powers, I may be able to extricate it. Yes, look at this. I'm not even touching it. Can you believe it, my loves? Let's get this devil out and see what's inside. Come on, you fucker. Yes, let us extricate it from its packaging. Isn't that beautiful, my loves? It's a potent form of magic that protects me from various ingress of evil doers, witches, goblins, and the like. But anyway, let us go inside and see what we might see. Yes, here we are. Here is the room in its entirety. It is marginally larger than my last residence, but only just, my loves, only just. But this view is not enough for thee, is it, my loves? You want slightly more detail, and that is what I will give you. So let us begin once more at the door, where I have various trinkets of power that again ward me from evildoers entering my establishment. Up here we have a tube of sherbet fountain that I've had for about 2 years, a gift from my mother that I've yet to eat. Here we have some Okinawan sand in a bottle, also potent magic. We have the blue ghost from the Pac-Man saga, and a lump of blue tack. Yes, yes, this is a radiator. Now you may think that this is a seat, but a normal seat, but it is not. It is a treasure chest that contains various potent magical tomes. That's a naughty one. Don't look at that. Yes, all of my hardback volumes are in there, or most of them. In here we have demonic cardboard and demonic bubble wrap. It's very dangerous stuff. If you're unwary, it may sneak up on you and wrap your penis into a little parcel. Now, you may recognize this red canvas. As you can see, I've done fuck all to it. Apologies, Brian. Down here, we have my little tiny canvas. Or easel, should I say. That's where I do the majority of my paintings. Over here, we have a rather splendid print. Rodney Matthews' Ilion of Garaform from the late 1970s. I always loved this image, and now, my loves, it will always be in the background of my videos. Look at that, signed by the artist himself. Splendid! Okay, in the corner here, we have another talisman of power. It is an akabeko from my friend over in Japan, from Fukushima. So this hails from the Aizu region of Japan, and it is quite a splendid object, isn't it? A red cow. On top is a Hina doll. The Hina doll is satanic, and the akabeko counters its potent magic, if you will. Up here we have a disco mushroom, my loves. Yeah, so I can boogie with my mushroom out. We have various books up here. We have a rather large bottom. I think you all remember that one from the previous room. And here we are. This is the image that I use as my avatar for the channel. It's down in the corner, but it was originally an oil painting that I used for one of my early books. Oh my goodness, the witch is back, but luckily I've removed her magical powers so she can't cackle anymore because it was doing my fucking nut. This is splendid, splendid shelf there. Okay, and here's this wonderful window. Now, isn't that splendid? Look at the magical, ethereal shit coming out of the side of it. Now, it looks real, doesn't it, my loves? But it is merely an illusion. I created this out of a transfer, so it's quite a cheap way of covering up what is actually quite a moribund sight beyond here. It is a busy road with various motor carriages bimbling off onto evil errands. But let us pretend that beyond there are rolling hills, forests aplenty, and great bulbous mountains reaching to the heavens. Indeed. And here we are, some collection of various plants. We have a coleus here. We have a shrek-eared succulent. We have another succulent here. Isn't that splendid? And various other plants that I don't have any idea what they are. This one happens to be ensconced within a bottom. Here's my drinking horn. A watering can. Various oil paints that I've yet to put away. Here we have some oddments of cardboard and some pencils. Yes. Okay, moving on. There's one of my paintings there. This is for sale if you wish to purchase it, my loves. Who's this? It's none other than Sir Percival. Hello, Sir Percival.
Hello.
So this is the part that I use for storage. It's got the fuse box in there as well, which is very useful. Vape, this is where I make my vape liquids, various games and shit. There's a load of paintings in this box. Here we are, some more painting apparel. Yes, a pair of titties as well. Wait a minute, what's this box? I've seen the like of this once before.
We have such sights to show you.
No! Yes, I forgot. It's a dastardly, demonic box. Oh dear. Yes, evil is leaking out all over the place. Okay, so we have a slapdash approach to some decoration here in the form of fairy lights. But look at these wonderful bookshelves. This contains the entirety of my collection. There's a load more up there, of course. But I realize I don't really have that many books. I need to buy many, many more, my loves. Excuse me. Yes, but wonderful stuff. I'm thinking I may extend the shelves up to the ceiling. What do you think? Let me know. Here we have... This is where the stairs are, up above. But if we peek underneath, there's various other things that we might be able to find. There's the satanic candle there. It's back in place. What the hell's that? A collection of stones. Now, this is a rather naughty candle. Various more books. We have the Pac-Man neon sign, another ghostly apparition in the form of a candle, and yet another over there, beneath a rather plump bottom. Yes, we have some naughty images up here. Birthday cards from my wife. She knows what I'm like. I'm a bit of a naughty wizard. Now down here is the crawl space, and it goes right back here. I'm not quite sure what to do with this yet. I was thinking of putting my Commodore 64 in here as a tiny little gaming room. I don't know if I'll do that. This is my furry familiar, known as Mr. Fluffington, who is quite a splendid owl. He takes guard over this cabinet, which contains a gas meter. Yes. But there's also various books inside and an empty jar that contains the tears of fallen angels. Yes. What else? Oh, yes, of course, my computer. Now, that is my screensaver. Isn't that wonderful? It's not really. I just thought I'd put that on there. Let's dip underneath here. This is my very, very old computer. And a tripod box that I use as a footstool, my PlayStation. And back here is a wonderful example of cable management that I like to call the satanic spaghetti conflagration, my loves. It works perfectly well, unless you want to extricate one of the cables, and then it becomes a complete shambles. But anyway, there we are. Let's leave it there. Okay, there we are, my loves. Now, what did you think of that? That is the new workshop, if you will, wizarding workshop that we've got to play with. I think this is the view we'll normally use, but I may shift shit around for book hauls and whatnot to give you another little glimpse. Well, you've seen it all now, naughty fellows. And apologies in advance. I'm out of practice doing this, talking to camera and all of that, so it could be utterly, utterly shite. Yes. But anyway, I promised some books. Let's get some books out. But first of all, I'm going to need my spectacles. Yes, a little bit more magic, my loves. Now, the books are down here. Excuse me. Right, here we go. So, I'll do them in the order that I received them. We've only got 3 books to show you, but they are beauties, I'm sure you'll agree. Now, the first one is from my dear wife. During the past few weeks, I had a birthday, my loves. I turned the ripe old age of 27. No, 46. But she got me this. So it's one of my favourite books of all time, Clive Barker's Imagica. So for me, Clive Barker's novels can be a bit hit or miss, but Imagica is an absolute beast. Wonderful, wonderful imagination he has, and beautifully, beautifully written. I've only read it once, but I will hopefully read it a number of times before I part company with this life. But it's also one of my favourite forms of fantasy, if you will, where it's kind of like portal fantasy. So we have the humdrum, everyday lived existence that we all know, and it's fucking awful normally, isn't it? And then we have the dominions, various other dimensions, populated by wonders and monsters and all kinds of shit. Lots of sex as well. But anyway, this one is a hardback. I may struggle to read this because of my silly old wrists, but it's a first edition from 1991, so it's imbued with the magic of that particular time. I was only 11 years old when that book came out. Can you believe it, my loves? I was once a young boy. I didn't come ready formed like this. I was once young. Anyway, so the last two books were from my dear Sephiros, a wizard in residence at the palace, my number 2, if you will, or number 1, to use the vernacular of TNG.
I don't need your fantasy women.
So he's my Will Riker, if you will. He's been manning the palace whilst I've been away. So that's the Discord, my loves. If you don't know about it, there's a link down below. You can come and join us and we have a merry old time. It's 99% populated by old men like me. But there is one woman there. So if there's any other ladies that want to join, you're welcome. But forewarned is forearmed. There's a lot of cock around. Anyway, speaking of cock, Sephiros gave me a care package, a housewarming gift. And the first thing he gave me was this. It's a golden penis, my loves. Now, I love receiving penises in the post, or wands, if you will. This is a wand, really. But he went on holiday with his wife to Corfu, saw this golden penis and thought of me. Now, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, I don't know what will. It has Corfu there on the shaft, which is lovely. I've never been to Corfu, but it's also a bottle opener. I was going to open a bottle of ale this evening, but I've got to pick up my wife later from the train station. It's getting late and I don't want any dark wizards trying to get her. I will come bearing various spells, of course, to protect her. Okay, but there are also a couple of books. So here we go. They're both by Bob Shaw. So the first one is this fellow, 1 Million Tomorrows. Now, I was recommended this book a couple of years ago, I believe. So I've been looking for it, half-heartedly, one might say. But dear old Sephiros read my mind using a wizarding trick and realised that I wanted this book and got it for me. Can you believe it? So I'll read the blurb. Many of you will probably already know what this is about. I don't know anything about it, and I haven't read the blurbs yet. So this is quite exciting, my love, yes? Okay, so here we go. No. Where is it? Here we go. People born into the complacent bitch society of the 22nd century regard indefinitely prolonged life as a birthright. But to get their 1 million tomorrows, men have to make the transition from funky to cool. Funky is slang for functional male. Immortality can only be achieved at the expense of male sexuality. Well, that sounds absolutely awful. So when Will Carew is offered 1 million tomorrows without the side effects, he is being offered something very valuable, something people would kill for. Yes, immortality with a penis, an erect penis, my loves. Yes, well, that's very interesting. Slightly... what's the word? Chauvinistic, I suppose. Yes, I mean it's all centering around men here, and complacent bitch society. Alarm bells are ringing, but apparently this is quite a good book. Maybe I dreamt that someone recommended that one to me, but there we are. Okay, the next one, and the next Bob Shaw is The Peace Machine. Now look at that cover. We've got a young fellow there cavorting in a doorway with a piece of apparatus festooned with weapons, and outside the doorway a bunch of balaclavaed ruffians. Who knows what that's about? The Peace Machine could save the world, or turn the planet into a nuclear furnace. Lucas Hutchman's life was pretty humdrum. He practiced archery in his home county's garden, turned up at the office and tried to allay his wife's unfounded suspicions of adultery. But Hutchman was a mathematician, and when he invented a machine that could detonate every nuclear device on the planet, he's ordered if enervating existence was changed forever. Terrorists had wiped out Damascus. It had seemed that the bomb would never be used, but now Hutchman acted fast. His neutron resonator would force the world's governments to disarm. But Hutchman wasn't built for the world of espionage and murder, just dicking. But as he mailed out his ultimatums and went on the run, it seemed doubtful that he could survive long enough to put his plan into action. Okay, there we are. We've got something from the Observer here. After Ballard himself, Bob Shaw is the nearest we've got to a homegrown great. Well, he's being compared to J.G. Ballard there, my lads. That's quite a recommendation. Okay, so there we are. That's the book content out of the way. Just a small segment, but I will be back soon with a book haul, my lads. Remember those when I used to do those? Yes, I've got some books in the offing. A box of the devils. But yes, we'll get to that another day. What was I going to do? That's right, I was going to talk about the move and all of that. Everything that's transpired over the past 3 weeks or so. Right, the short version is it's been absolutely hellish. It started out quite wonderful. I thought, my goodness, I know this is supposed to be the most stressful time of your life, moving and all of that, but this is just moving wonderfully, smoothly. No problems whatsoever. But of course, shit did hit the fan at various occasions. Okay, where shall I begin? One problem was my health. So I got the plague at one point. That wasn't too bad, just sniffles and general lack of energy, I suppose. The main problem was my old hips playing up like the devil's business. I could barely walk. And so that coincided with most of the move. So I was having to hobble around. It wasn't very good at all. And I had this horrible thought that it would reach the point where I would get out of bed in the morning. I wouldn't be able to move again because I've had that before. And it's quite scary, especially when I'm on 0-hour contract. So if I don't work, I don't get paid. We've got a mortgage now. And yes, it was a bit scary and my wife was a bit worried about it. But all worked out okay, really. I've just been taking it easy and letting everyone else do all of the work. Well, no, I've done a fair bit as well, but all of the heavy lifting, yes, I said earlier when I was in the other place, was done by my sister Adele and her fiance Brian. Did a brilliant job hefting all of the heavy stuff and transporting it in a van, my loves. Did it in 2 trips, quite wonderful. They're both very strong. I have a newfound respect for my sister, who I used to taunt mercilessly as a child. Now she could beat the living shit out of me. So we have to be careful around Adele from now on, my loves. Even though I've got a few spells about me, nothing can match brute strength from a young lady. Yes. Okay, so what else happened with the move? So after the initial heavy shit that was moved on the first weekend, we're sleeping on the floor, incidentally, my loves. The bed that we've ordered is going to be taking, I think it's 7 weeks to arrive, so we've still got 3 more weeks to wait. So we're sleeping on the floor, which isn't helping my hips, my loves. You should see me crawling out of bed. It's like something from a nightmare, from The Walking Dead, perhaps. I have to kind of crawl around, and eventually I get to my feet. But yes, it's pretty hellish. So yes, following that first weekend, I did the rest of the moving myself, my loves. I did it very, very slowly and tentatively. Each day bringing a load and carefully carrying it with an elbow and a hand. It's awful, my loves. It's awful. And then Vanessa was at the other end and helped move it around, together we've done quite a bit. The worst part was the cleaning of the old flat, which was absolutely horrific. I mean, that place was falling apart anyway. I've talked about it incessantly in the past. past, but mold everywhere, a slug infestation, is basically living in a grotto most of the time. We've been there for 7 years. The place looks tired, my love. So trying to clean a place like that is indeed like polishing the metaphorical turd. And you can only polish it so far. So we spent ages, hours and hours cleaning it. It didn't look brilliant at the end of it. And as you all know, perhaps, our letting agent is an absolute swine. So expecting some deductions from the deposit. I left a few spells behind. It should be all right. It should be all right. Okay, so another stressful thing that we had to deal with was that there was a couple of pieces of furniture that we weren't going to be bringing here, and we weren't going to be able to move elsewhere because they were too big and heavy, and I didn't want to ask Adele and Brian to do any more. So we had a 3-seater sofa and my old desk. Yes, my lads, I've got a new desk now, one that goes up and down. Look, I can do this. Get ready. Watch this. Woo! Oh dear. It's just taken a lump out of the wall there. It's a very strong desk, my lads. I'll have to check that out later. Shit. Anyway, so yes, we had those 2 items of furniture, and we tried various charities. Do you want to take this and you can sell it? It's in fairly good nick, both of those pieces of furniture, but they all declined, my lads, except one. The Salvation Army. And so they came around and I was there to greet them. And it's very interesting. You couldn't make this up, my loves. 3 men arrived. Older gentlemen, slightly older than me, perhaps in their 50s. One of them resembled a wizard. So he had long white hair. Another looked like an old warrior. Had been through the mix, really. It had a bit of a Mohican, but also grey and some earrings. And then there was a grumpy old dwarf. Now, I'm not being cruel here. I mean, he was the shorter of the 3, but he wasn't a very short man, but he was very grumpy. And he didn't want to take the sofa. That was because once they peeled out off the outer layer to dismantle it, it was slightly dirty underneath. Now, this is my fault, my lads, because I used to drink a lot of ale on there, and occasionally it would spill. And so on my side of the sofa, let's just say the hue of the colour underneath was reminiscent of a turd. Yes, it was slightly brown. But luckily, the wizard in the contingent came to my rescue and did a spell on it. I could see him working a spell. It was wonderful. He said, perhaps a student will buy it. And the dwarf went, okay. So they took it, my lads. But in the middle of this conversation, a couple of interesting things happened. The old warrior, with his kind of grey Mohican, he said he spied one of my books, Rodney Matthews' Portfolio, illustrated from the 70s and 80s. And he said, Rodney Matthews, I'm a big fan of his. Look, he got his phone out and showed me a print that he's got. He found it in a charity shop. And I said, I'm a big fan as well. I've got a print. It's that one over there. I couldn't show him, of course. It wasn't there anymore. So we're having a lovely conversation. And then there was an old woman in our kitchen. An old woman had wandered off the street and into our kitchen, and she had bundled in her arms a big rug. So she had seen that the Salvation Army van was there and chanced her luck, really. And so she completely ignored me and just went, I don't suppose you fine gentlemen would like a rug to take back with you. I could see the gentleman was slightly startled by her presence. I think she was a witch. But they said, yeah, okay, we'll take it. So they took it and she trundled off. And then I was outside. I was helping however I could in the state that I am. So I was carrying the cushions of the sofa. They were quite grateful for that. And I was outside, and then my neighbour popped out of nowhere. So my neighbours, I don't really know. Well, back where we were, when you're living in the city, you don't really know your neighbours. We knew the ones above us, of course. They were 2 hellions that I wanted to curse on a daily basis. But the chap that lived beneath us was quite a nice chap indeed. we didn't have many occasions to talk. We don't even know his name, but yes, once our washing machine leaked and the water went through the floor and into one of his light fittings. He was really nice about it. But anyway, he materialized out of nowhere, shook my hand, and we were having a nice, pleasant conversation. But then I had to fill in a form, and then he wandered off. But lots of interesting things happened in that moment. There was some kind of magic involved, I'm sure. This bloody wall here. Fuck. How the hell did that happen? Anyway, at some point, some mischief has happened. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Last thing to say, I suppose, is that we're really happy here. It's a shame we're right next to a busy road. That's a bit of a pain in the ass. So there's no bird song anymore that used to feature on the other videos, and no bells either. There's no church nearby. So we do occasionally get the blaring horn of the nearby train line. But we are surrounded by countryside, so occasionally I'll take you out on a walk around the environs and we can explore it together. There is a walk that I've discovered that culminates at a brewery. So I will be doing that at some point. Now, what else was there? Just trying to think if there's anything more I was going to tell you, my loves. What? Oh no, it's that demonic box again. It's opened itself, my love. I will have to finish this now and sling a couple of spells over there to pacify the demons. But until next time, my loves, we should be proceeding normally from now on, hopefully. So maybe on the Monday I'll do a little video. We'll do a live stream on a Thursday. Hopefully, we've got problems with the fucking internet here. And then on Friday I'll do a video normally, a review or a book haul or something like that. So yes, I'm back, my loves. I hope you're all well, and I hope you'll come back into the fold, so to speak, and we can cross swords. Anyway, cheers, cheerio, and see you soon. Cheerio. No! How dare you! A wizard does not get its hair cut for anything, even a woman such as thee.